Okay, we're live now. Let's get started. So we completed chapter 14 yesterday, which was where they are traveling to Mithila and they're stopping at this place called Vasumati, and they are resting the night there. They've walked from Siddhashrama through, they're walking towards Himalayas, and they are stopping over at this place called Vasumati. And when Rama asks about the place, Vishwamitra explains how this place belongs to his uncle, uh, his father's brother's place. And he explains about his family. Now they stay the night, and this chapter is called Ganga. The music of the birds and the rustling of the waters of the river Sona was waking them up, and soon they were awake. Even before they could get up, Vishwamitra was by their side, and he said, "Children, the dark night has passed and the dawn is fast approaching. Let us hurry and make preparations for the journey." Rama, with his brother, soon went to Vishwamitra, ready to leave with them. He asked Vishwamitra, "My lord, this river does not seem to be fed enough with water. I can see mud, sandy islands here and there breaking the even flow of the river. Where are we planning to cross the river?" "We will follow the path of the rishis who have gone this way before," said Vishwamitra, and the troop walked fast towards the north. After a long trudge, when the sun had reached the zenith, they saw in front of them the broad expanse of the sacred river Ganga. They were thrilled at the sight of the river with swans and lotuses floating on its surface. They stood for a while looking at the beauty of the waters, and they made up their minds to spend some time on her banks. As usual, in the evening, they sat around Vishwamitra. Rama asked the rishi, "I want to hear the story of this sacred river Ganga." Okay, so she is called Tripadaga. Tripataka, the river with three paths, Tripataka. How did she purify the three worlds and finally reach the sea? The Lord of all rivers, I'm very eager to listen to the thrilling story. So he's asking about River Ganga. "There is a mountain by name Himavan," began Vishwamitra. "Himavan is the lord of all mountains, and he had two daughters who were unrivaled in beauty. Their mother was Mena, also known as Manorama. Ganga was the elder of the two daughters, and the younger is known as Parvati, and also by the name Uma. The Devas wanted Ganga for themselves. They went to Himavan and asked him to make a gift of his daughter to them. Himavan agreed, and Ganga, who converted herself into a river, flowed in the heavens, and her waters purified whatever it touched. She was famed as Mandakini in the heavens and is also known as Akasha Ganga. The other daughter, Uma, performed severe tapas, and her devotion was rewarded. Her father gave her to Lord Mahadeva. These two daughters of Himavan are worthy of the worship of the three worlds. Rama, one of your ancestors, was a king by name Sagara. He was for a long time childless. He had two wives. One was Kesini, the daughter of king of Vidarbha. The second wife was Sumati, the daughter of Kashyapa. She was famed for her beauty. With a desire for a child, the king went to the slopes of the Himavan with his wives. There he performed tapas. After 100 years had passed, the rishi Bhrigu came to him and said, "You will certainly become a father, and because of them, your name will be ever remembered by the world of men. One of the wives will be the mother of a son, only one son, who will continue the line of Ikshwakus. The other will be the mother of 60,000 sons, all valiant, powerful, and brave. The princesses were very happy and they stood before him humbly and said, "Which of us will be the mother of 60,000 sons, and which of us will bear the son who will continue the line? We are eager to know." Just 1 second. Okay. "We are eager to know." Brigu said, "The choice is yours. One of you will have to choose the single progeny, while the other will have the 60,000 sons. Kesini, the elder queen, chose to be the mother of the only son, while Sumati, the younger, was happy in the anticipation of many sons who were to be born to her. King Sagara took leave of the rishi and went back to his kingdom. In course of time, a son was born to Kesini. He was named as Asamanja. To his dismay, the king realized that his son was wicked in the real sense of the word. Okay, there's lots of names being told. So you just remember from where, from King Sagara, okay, and his two wives, Kesini and Sumati. And so Kesini's son's name is Asamanja, okay, the single son. So he was wicked and he enjoyed doing evil acts. When he was a young boy, he would catch hold of young children and throw them into the river Sarayu. He would stand watching them struggling in the water before they were drowned. He would clap his hands in glee. Sagara thought that he would improve as he grew older, but no, he became more and more unpopular. The town folk finally came to the king and told him about the atrocities performed by the prince. Righteous man that he was, Sagara did not hesitate even for a moment. He meted out punishment for such a miscreant, banishment from the kingdom. Banishment means like he can't enter the kingdom. The one consolation the king had was that Asamanja's son, by name Amshuman, did not inherit his father's nature but was a good, sweet, gentle child, ever devoted to his grandfather. The other wife of the king, Sumati, became the mother of 60,000 sons, as had been prophesied. Lusty young men who were very powerful, handsome, extremely arrogant. They were the pride of the mother. Once Sagara wanted to perform the Ashwamedha. The location of the Yagnashala was beautiful. The north is proud of the powerful Himavan, and facing it in the middle of Bharatvarsha is the mountain Vindhya, which is a large range. So I'd like you guys to actually look, maybe Google images of Ganga. Let's pause for a minute. And who wants to share their screen of everything they're going to?
Us. We will.
Okay, image of Ganga first. I'll give you sharing, multiple sharing. So you can share. Did you find out?
Yeah,
Yes.
we're just gonna share. So this is what we found.
Yes. So this
This
what you
is
see, that's called Lakshman Jula.
So set it up.
There's stories, yeah, that they cross this place.
First photo was Lakshman Jula Arna. Here, first photo is
Okay.
Lakshman Jula and Ram Jula. There are two of them.
Yes. Rishikesh, I've been here.
Yes, me too.
Okay. Okay. See how huge, and you see the mountain here?
Yes, see at the back.
That's the Himalayas.
That is
Yeah, पूरी range वहाँ Himalayas range है
like
ना?
that.
बहुत सारे या वहाँ ऊपर से आती है भागीरथी से स्टार्ट होती है गंगा रिवर. I've done rafting there.
And I was like, yes.
So you see the mountains. Beautiful. Okay. Now next, let's have a look at, so everyone can see, right? All of this is river. It's huge, right? Now let's have a look at Vindhya Mountains. So he explains Sagara. Okay. Also, Google Ashwamedha. I want you to understand, because this Ashwamedha concept will come many times in the story. All kings will do this ritual called Ashwamedha. Okay. Do you want me to do it?
No, it's fine. I'm searching it up.
So that's not a place. After that, also search in another window, Vindhya Mountain, which is in the middle of India. Okay. The Vindhya range divides India to the between as north and south. So I want you to see that also, because they're explaining that. So he's explaining that Sagara wanted to choose this land between the two ranges, in the Vindhya ranges, to create, to do his Yajnashala, to do his puja. So, image, go to image. Yes. Okay. So it's a range. Vindhya range means it's a like many mountains. Okay. And if you look in the map here, can you see they are showing? It's right in the middle. Okay. So this divides India in between north and south. And this is where he wanted to do the puja. Sagara wanted to do. Now Google Ashwamedha. Just go into the next page here, Ashwamedha. So everyone's clear, right? You can see the, can I get a yes? Because I can't hear you guys.
Sorry.
Okay. So let's have a look at Ashwamedha. You already had that in another window.
Yeah. Images.
Was a horse sacrifice. Let's see what they say. Sacrifice.
It's this horse, I think.
Yeah, so they'll actually tie, it'll be a decorated horse like this, to understand that it is the king's horse. And wherever the horse goes, that they'll claim that as their land, the king's land. This is my understanding. Just go up and look at the how they describe what Ashwamedha is. It was an ancient Indian king to prove their imperial sovereignty. A horse accompanied by the king's warriors would be released to wander for a year. In the territory traversed by the horse, any rival could dispute the king's authority by challenging the warriors accompanying it. After 1 year, if no enemy had managed to kill or capture the horse, the animal would be guided back to the king's capital. It would then be sacrificed and the king would be declared as an undisputed sovereign. Makes sense?
Yeah.
So
I
this
don't
is for
really
the king.
understand.
Okay, I'll explain. So the king, who is the king? King is the one who protects the people and kind of rules the kingdom, right? So he needs to establish his power. So the sovereignty is like to establish his power, that he is the king, that he is the most powerful person. In order to establish that, this is kind of a ritual that every king does to establish his power, that to say that I am the king. So there'll always be other people. When there is power, there'll always be other people who will want to be the king, or who won't like this king and want themselves to have the power. So when doing this, what they'll do is send this horse along with the king's warriors, will go with it, and the horse will just stray wherever it wants to go, right? So whichever land the horse is going, if the people want to say, no, you're not allowed here. We don't accept you as a king. They can challenge by fighting the warriors accompanying the horse. So if those people kill the horse or fight the warriors and win and kill the horse, that means the king has no power in that land. It does not belong. That land has not accepted him as a king. That land and those people. So if this will happen for 1 year, and after 1 year, if the horse is able to come back, that means either no one challenged or people challenged and they could not win. The warriors of the king were more powerful. So in that sense, that means they surrender, right? So when the horse comes back, it is the king establishes that he is the lord of the land wherever the horse is traversed. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
So this
But
is
why
an
does it
ancient.
get sacrificed still?
The horse gets sacrificed. That's
Yeah,
a
that's
good.
just sad. It's like, oh, the horse must be thinking like, oh yeah, I made it, and then you just kill it anyway.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think we should discuss on that. So keep that question alive, finding and think about. You can tell me why you think it was sacrificed. Okay, so you can. We'll discuss about that later. So we've understood Ashwamedha. We've understood the Vindhya range where it is. We've understood Ganga and the Himalayas around it. Right now, let's move on. So you understand. The youngster Amshuman. Amshuman is Asamanja's son. Asamanja uh, was the evil one, or the king or the single son of Sagara, right? So once Sagara wanted to, the youngster Amshuman was asked to accompany the sacrificial horse in its triumphant march through all of the kingdoms. Indra, who is ever jealous of the kings of the earth who performed the Ashwamedha, was very prompt in stealing the horse and disappeared with it. The Pandits who were performing the yajna could not proceed with the rituals until the horse was found, and they told the king about the urgency of the matter. They said, unless the horse is found and the yaga is completed, grave disaster will follow. Sagara called his powerful sons and said, you have heard the words of the rishis. Please make haste and go in search of the horse. This sacrifice can be performed without any fault by only very few people, and once begun, it has to be concluded. Please go at once and search in all of the four quarters and in the nether world also. That means outside the world also, in heavens and in the underworld. So the lusty Kshatriya princes, the Sagara Putras, the 60,000 people, the sons, were very happy to do so as they were told. They set out in quest of the horse. With their powerful arms, they dug up the earth. Each prince allotted to himself 1 yojana of ground. How much is 1 yojana, Surya? And dug into it. The entire surface of the earth had been dug up and they could not find the horse. Yes, yes. Just
1 yojana is 12.8 kilometers.
Okay, so they allotted 1 yojana of ground and dug into it. The entire surface of the earth had been dug up and they could not find the horse. The earth groaned under the fierce onslaught of the princes. Serpents, animals, even the Rakshasas suffered, and the air was filled with their cries of pain, which were piteous to hear. When they did not find the horse on the surface of the earth, Sagara's son entered the nether regions. They saw the Diggajas, the elephants bearing the earth on their mighty heads, Virupaksha, Mahapadma, Saumanta, and Badra, but they were not able to see the horse. Finally, they went deep into the Netherlands and they came to the vicinity of a cave. When they were wondering as to who was inside, they heard the neighing of a horse. Surya, can you check what is Netherlands is? One of you? I know vaguely what it is, but we want to be
Netherlands is
precise.
the like plan, like world under the earth,
Okay.
like
Yeah,
how gods live above. The Netherlands is for like the demons.
yeah, can we look at what is on what's coming up in Google? You're correct, actually. You're very correct, but let's get it more get some more information, to get clarity. So the princes were surprised at this. Promptly, they were inside the cave. It was an ashrama, which was more like a cave than usual hermitage. When they went inside, the valiant brothers saw Kapila Vasudeva, the great rishi, who was lost in meditation. Beyond him, beyond where he was sitting, they saw tied to a tree their father's sacrificial horse. They were happy that their search was at an end. The sons of Sagara shouted, "This is a thief. He has stolen our horse, and having reached this underground retreat, he has assumed the garb of a sannyasi and pretends to be in deep meditation. Let us punish him." With their minds completely bemused because of their anger against the rishi, the sons of Sagara rushed at Kapila with their hands holding different weapons. They shouted at the great man, calling him thief, and Kapila, opening his eyes because of the noise they made, saw what was happening. He looked at them with angry eyes, and that was enough to reduce all of them to ashes. The 60,000 sons of Sagara were now just a heap of ashes. The rishi went back into trance as though nothing had happened. Sagara, in the meantime, waited in vain for the return of his sons and the horse. Finally, he asked his grandson Amshuman to go and find out what has happened. The young prince went along the path which his uncles had taken and soon reached the cave where Kapila was. Amshuman entered the cave and there he saw the horse. Amshuman stood humbly and waited for the great man to come out of his samadhi. When Kapila opened his eyes, he saw a young man standing before him with folded palms. Amshuman prostrated before the rishi and taking the dust off his feet, he spoke to him and told him about his errand. Kapila said, "Here is your horse, child. Indra, as usual, has stolen it and brought it here. As for your uncles, there they are," he said and pointed to the heap of ashes. "They behaved in an unforgivable manner, and with my looks, I burnt them to ashes." Amshuman looked around for water so that he could offer the funeral oblations, the tarpana, to his elders, but he could find no water there. But he found Garuda, the brother of Sumati, coming towards him. And he said, "Child, do not be too unhappy. This is but the law of nature. Your uncles, my nephews, were too arrogant to be popular. As for the Anjali you want to offer them, ordinary water will not wipe out their sin. Ganga, the elder daughter of Himavan, is the only one who will be able to purify them. Ask her to come down to earth. The holy waters of Ganga must wet these ashes. Then and only then will they attain salvation." Amshuman was speechless with sorrow and with the stupendous task which he had been given to undertake. Garuda then said, "That will be later. Now hurry with the horse to the presence of your grandfather and let him complete the Ashwamedha." Amshuman returned to the kingdom with the horse and sacrifice was concluded. But the king was greatly unhappy at the turn of events. He did not know how to make the divine river Ganga flow on the earth. After some time, he left the kingdom in the hands of his grandson Amshuman, and King Sagara, accompanied by his wives, went to the forest to perform tapas and then reach the heavens. Amshuman ruled the kingdom well, and he had no time to try and woo Ganga to come down to the earth. He had a son by name Dilipa. Amshuman left the kingdom in his hands and went to the slopes of Himavan to perform penance in order to get Ganga. But it was in vain. He died without accomplishing his object. Dilipa also suffered the same way. He could not, during his reign, achieve the desires in the hearts of all of them, the coming of Ganga to the earth and the salvation of the sons of Sagara. Okay, that's the end of chapter 15. We'll be continuing about how Ganga is coming down, but let's recap. So, was it too much? Lots of information to remember?
Yes. Yes, definitely.
So it's important to recap, right? So recapping, so he starts Ganga's story with saying that Mountain Himavan had two daughters. The first daughter's name is is Ganga. She's also called Mena or Manora. No, their mother was Mena or Manorama, Himavan's wife. And Ganga's name, Ganga and her sister's name is Parvati. And Ganga had another name. Okay, anyway, the Devas wanted Ganga for themselves. So Ganga went to live in the heavens and she was in the form of river. She's flowing in the heavens and purifying everywhere she was, which is in the heavens. And Uma or Parvati did tapas and got married to Lord Shiva, Lord Mahadeva. Okay, so now the story is going back to Rama's ancestors. So one of Rama's ancestors was King Sagara, who had 2 wives but no children. When he did tapas, he got blessed that one wife will have 1 child, other wife will have 60,000, 1 son, other wife will have 60,000 sons, right? Then what happened? Unmute, everyone, unmute. Then what happened?
Then that one son was like really evil and cruel. So
Do you remember his name?
I think it started with an A.
Asamanja.
Yeah.
Actually, there is it is used to scold people. I've heard people being scolded as Asamanja. Okay, to say when someone is lazy or evil, they use that word. So that's his name. Okay, so he was evil and his son was Amshuman. And was he good or evil?
He was good and he
He
did
was
like
good. He
he
was
didn't
Excellent.
act like his father. He really loved his grandfather.
Excellent. And the 60,000 sons, they were born to the first wife or second wife?
Second wife.
Second.
And her
Second.
name was Sumati.
Sumati.
Okay. Okay, so the 60,000 the sons, were they good or good natured or evil natured?
Good.
Bad.
Bad.
It said they were
Bad.
arrogant.
Bad.
Arrogant. They were powerful, they were handsome, but extremely arrogant. Okay. So the king Sagara did Ashwamedha. So you know what Ashwamedha is. And they were doing the yaga, the puja in the site of Vindhya range. And what happened? What happened then? What happened to the horse?
It got stolen.
It got
By who stole it?
The Eve Asamanja.
Who stole the horse?
Was it the 60,000?
Classroom.
Who stole the horse, guys?
Asamanja?
Indra. Indra, who is always, he's jealous of any kings who perform Ashwamedha. Okay, then they become very powerful, no? Indra always wants to be the most powerful. And if there's any kings who do Ashwamedha, he gets very jealous. So what did he do? He stole the horse and he hid it where Kapila was meditating. Okay, and then he went away. Then the 60,000 sons who went in search of it found it where Kapila was meditating, but without arrogant that they were, they did not have the wisdom or the consciousness to understand that the sage wouldn't have, the rishi wouldn't have stolen it. Without even thinking, they went to attack him. And so he just opened his eyes and he burnt them just through his looks. So he had so much power because of his intense tapas. He could just burn them just by the look, by just looking at them, and they were all dead. Then finally Amshuman goes and finds, and Kapila tells him that take the horse, this is Indra's doing. And for what did they want? What did Amshuman want to do for his uncles? This is called funeral oblations or tarpana. Okay, for elders, it's part of the tradition culture to perform oblations. So the reason they do is for their spirit, for their soul to be free, so that they can move on to the next life, or whether they go to heaven, like, so that that soul can move on. That is called salvation, and it's usually done by the descendants. So Amshuman, being the next generation, he wanted to do tarpana, but no water there. So what did Kapila say? Only the purest of water, only Ganga can offer salvation. But now they have to convince Ganga, who's in the heaven, to come down to earth and flow, right? So Amshuman could not achieve that during his lifetime. His son Dilipa could not achieve in his lifetime. Okay. Now there is also something else we read here, that Amshuman went away to the forest and went with his, to perform tapas and reach the heavens. Then Dilipa did the same thing. What do you think that is? Okay, in Indian tradition, I'll explain, in Indian way of life, there was always 4 stages in a person's life. So the first one is Bala, when they are a child. Then they are a brahmacharya, that is when they are doing their studies and getting their skills, etc. Okay. Then they become a householder. What is householder called? It's called, there's a word I forgot. Then they become a householder, who is the person who earns and has a family, takes care of elders and takes care of younger, like the next generation and the previous generation. They are responsible for them. Then after that is the 4th stage, when they take sannyasa, when they have finished living, like they live all their desires and they also perform their duties, both. Okay, they take care of whatever they enjoy all the good things in life. They also perform the duty of taking care of the older people and the younger people, and they run, they are useful for the society. Then the next stage is when they retire, they go into tapas in order to find salvation, in order to find God and become one with God, to attain God consciousness before they die. So that is how usually 4 stages of life is, through the Indian philosophy. That's how the 4 stages of life, and that is the way to live, is was the way of life. Okay, so even if you see in Ramayana, we'll be seeing what we are reading now. The chapters are in Balakanda. So Balakanda is where Rama is still he's still a young man. Okay, then we'll be looking at, he's not a young man, he's he's a child. He's 16 years old, right? Then we'll be looking at different stages in his life. Okay, this will not go till this book will tell us till he gets coronated as the king. But where we are studying right now is actually called Balakanda. So does it make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So tomorrow's chapter is chapter 16, and it's called Bhagirath's Penance. So it's about, we're going to find out how Ganga finally got convinced and came down to earth. Okay, that's what we're going to read tomorrow. So let's close our eyes. Om. 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 Purnamidam
Purnamidam Purnat Purnamidam
Purnasya Purnamadaya
Purnamadaya
Purnameva Vashite Om Shanti Shanti. Have a very good night. So today's Thursday, next we meet on Monday. Okay, tomorrow I'll see you for kids yoga, but Ramayana next Monday. Bye.
Bye. Have a